Hi, this video will demonstrate how to complete an Excel roster template. First, I'm going to log into the website. For the instructions on other roster topics, please see the resources page up here in the training tab. It'll bring you to a whole list of videos that demonstrate step-by-step how to complete this process. All right, so let's begin. I'm going to open up the roster that I previously downloaded and saved onto my computer. So make sure that your roster file is clearly labeled with the program name and number from the Mara website. If you have not downloaded the roster template yet, please view the how to download an Excel roster template training video. For written instructions, you can also view the instructions tab at your convenience. So that would be right here, this tab. I'm going to go ahead and maximize this. So when completing your staff roster, you always want to start with the leadership tab right here. First, you'd obviously want to read the instructions and then start off in this tab. It's crucial that you complete the leadership tab before completing the participants tab because the participants tab pulls information from the leadership tab to use on the website. If your program has participants who will use the website, which we're calling web users in this case, you'll need to identify your program's coordinators and approvers. If your program has participants who will only use paper packets, which we're calling paper users, you'll only need to identify your program's coordinators. Approvers are not needed for paper users. For more information on the coordinators and approvers, you can also see the instructions tab below. So on the leadership tab, you only want to list coordinators and approvers. Approvers and coordinators who are also participating in the time study should not be listed again in the participants tab. Otherwise, it'll show up as an error and it won't let you upload. So let's go ahead and complete the leadership tab. So I'm going to go ahead and input some example data here. So first you want to enter the first and last name, and then under the time study role, you want to select if they're coordinator or approver. In this case, let's just pick coordinator. And then under here, you want to select the UFR job title. In this case, let's do program director, because typically a lot of program directors are default coordinators. I also want to remind everyone to please not paste into these columns right up here, the ones in the red text. Otherwise, it'll cause a lot of issues and it'll prevent you from actually being able to submit. If you need help selecting the correct UFR job title and number, please refer to the excerpt of the UFR manual that is included with the resources training page from the website. So the resources right up here. And then right here, participating in the time study, you want to choose yes or no. In this case, yes. And then let's put a work email. And then right here, you would want to enter a 10-digit phone number and then enter an extension if applicable. So in this case, I'm just going to put a bunch of random numbers. And see right here, I put in the wrong amount of digits. I put in 11. So you want 10 here so that it'll default to this format right here. And then for an example, I'm just going to go ahead and put the extension. And then in the extension column, you're only going to want to use numbers. I also want to make note that all users listed in the leadership tab will have web accounts, and thus each leadership member must have an individual email account for the website to operate properly. Also, I'd like to note that on the website, coordinators will be listed as the default approvers for other leadership members participating in the time study. So if you have multiple coordinators here, for example, we have Mike Smith here, and if I had somebody else down here, Mike Smith would end up being the coordinator for this person, and then the second coordinator would be the approver for Mike. So you must have all the fields completed in the leadership tab before moving on. If a field is missing or there are any errors with your entries, they'll be flagged in the valid entry column right here. The following error message may appear. It may be missing first name, missing last name, missing role, missing UFR job title and number, missing participation status, missing email, incorrect email format. So for example, if we left out the @ symbol, it would throw up a code here that would indicate an issue. And we're going to put that back and it validates. Same thing with phone number. If we don't put enough phone number, if we don't put enough numbers here, it does that. With this, if we don't have anything in here, it causes an error. Same with these others. So when all your leadership members have been added to the leadership tab, we're going to go ahead and continue to the participants tab. I'm going to go ahead and add one more coordinator in right here, just so we have an example for approvers. And then the extension is optional. I'd like to point that out as well. But if there is an extension at your program, it is very helpful, just in case we need to get in contact with you later on. All right, now we're going to go ahead and move to the participants tab. Remember, you must complete the leadership tab fully before filling out the participants tab. So if you make any changes to the leadership tab after you complete the participants tab, you may need to come back to the participants tab to fix any errors that appear because of those changes. So any participants in the time study who are not coordinators and approvers, aka the people on the leadership tab, they should not be added to the participants list. Approvers and coordinators who are also participating in the time study, again, just shouldn't be listed here in this tab. So let's go ahead and complete the participants tab. So you want to go ahead and enter the information for each participant in a new row. I'm going to go ahead and do that right here. So you want to go ahead and enter the first and last name, and then select the UFR job title. In this case, we're going to use physician assistant. And then under the timesheet format, we're going to do web because obviously somebody for paper will not be participating on the web. You can put paper just to log them for visual reference, but in this case, we're going to do web. And then next, we're going to go ahead and enter a unique work email. Right over here. So you must also assign a timesheet approver for web users using the drop-down list. So all approvers from the leadership tab will appear on this list. In this case, we only did one approver. Coordinators are default approvers, just to make note of that. You may also select coordinators right here as the timesheet approver. So if I put coordinator as the timesheet approver, the only one that would approve that would be Mike Smith. And I also like to make note not to copy and paste in these three columns as well, just like the leadership tab, because it will cause some issues on the back end and not allow things to validate on the website. All right, so next I'm going to add one more person, just so we got a little variety here. All right, and then in this case, I'm going to click John Johnson as the coordinator. So next you'll want to review and address any error messages that appear in the valid entry column, just like we did in the leadership tab. So if we didn't have an approver here, it would cause an error. Same with the formatting. And if you copy and paste, it also can mess up these columns. So let's go ahead and select John Johnson. Lastly, what you'll want to do is click save and give your completed roster one last look before uploading to the web system. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And you will also want to rename it just so that it doesn't get lost in your files or anything like that. But thank you. And if there are any questions, please feel free to email or call us.